What's going on, guys? Welcome to Unprofessional with Daniel Salla. I've rebranded my show, and I got a new co-host with me right in the studio. We're at Lincoln. We're back in school, and yeah, I got Jazz Ramsey with me in the house.
Hello.
What's going on, Jazz?
No, nothing changing except the weather.
The weather's getting very cold.
Yeah.
Very, very cold, and I'm excited to be doing this show again. I kind of took a little break there for a few months, just because we were on break, and pandemic going on and all that good stuff. And
Exactly.
Lots of stuff. Just kind of relaxing.
Lots of stuff going on right now.
Lots of stuff going on. But,
all these Capitol riots and impeachments and all that. It's nice. It's nice to take a moment and look back at a time when things were simple.
Oh man, so yeah, that's the subject of our show today. Not the riots, not all the bad stuff going on, but looking back on good things, right? So the subject of today's episode is nostalgia, and I wanted to do this because I was actually, what brought me to wanting to do this episode was I was watching HBO Max, their streaming service,
right?
And they had like Herds of Cowardly Dog.
And they brought all the old CN shows on there.
Oh yeah, like Ed and Eddie. I was watching Codename Kids Next Door. You remember that show?
Yep.
Yeah, so like I was like, man, nostalgia is such a cool thing because it's like
it's powerful.
It's super powerful, right? Because like you could
in the right hands.
Right, because there's bad nostalgia and good nostalgia. And
yeah,
we're gonna talk about both today, I think.
Because like when you're a kid, like people say things were so much easier when you were a kid. Of course, it was easier when you were a kid. You were a kid.
Right. You had no like worries. Really.
You didn't have to worry about the world going on outside.
Yeah,
you just had to worry about like whether or not you get home in time to see the new SpongeBob.
That's for real, man. I remember those days. You'd be going outside, you'd be playing. It's getting dark out, and you're like, oh, there's the light. I gotta go and watch SpongeBob.
Or like my grandma's like, come on, we're going to Value City or something.
Yeah.
And she's trying on all the clothes with her friends, and I'm like, oh, it's 5:30.
I just want to leave. I got SpongeBob to watch.
It's 5:30. I'm gonna miss the new SpongeBob.
So yeah, man, I was a huge. I watched Nickelodeon a lot.
Nickelodeon.
Man, I remember Pick Boy.
Oh, Pick Boy
remember
from
that, dude?
Nickelodeon's You Pick Live.
Yeah, dude.
And so the actor for Pick Boy, they basically got rid of the whole Pick Boy persona and just started using the actor. He was like, do you remember that one game show, Brain Surge?
Uh-huh.
He was the host. That was Pick Boy.
Okay. I knew he sounded familiar, right?
He looked familiar. I knew from the hair.
Yeah. And that's funny you say that because, like, looking back, you see, like, big stars doing, like, roles you've seen before. So, like, Patchy off SpongeBob was Tom Kenny.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow. Looking back on it, you're like, that makes sense.
Tom Kenny's everywhere.
Tom Kenny really is everywhere, man. He was like Rocko's Modern Life.
Rocko's Modern Life. He was on Adventure Time, Bob's Burgers.
Everything, man.
I think he was on the Boondocks once.
Was he really?
I think either Boondocks or Black Dynamite. I might be wrong.
Man, no, I wouldn't be surprised. He's really been
Rick
in
and Morty.
Yeah. So, man, I was huge into Nickelodeon, and yeah, I was doing CBS All Access has all those Nickelodeon shows.
I'm not paying for that.
I mean, yeah, it's not worth paying for, but they do have like SpongeBob, Fairly Odd Parents is on there.
Okay.
And a bunch of those old Nickelodeon shows, man. I was into some Disney Channel too. Disney Channel was
the place for me.
So what were some of your favorites?
I remember it was on Toon Disney. Before it was Toon Disney, then it was Toon Disney and Jetix.
Okay.
And then they made it Disney XD.
I remember, yeah. See, like I wasn't super into Disney, but I did have some shows I liked.
DuckTales, Tailspin, Darkwing Duck,
Tailspin, yes.
Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.
Yeah.
Remember
Bear in the Big Blue House?
Bear in the Big Blue House.
Come on, boys.
Man, way
Come
there.
on.
Even as a kid, I was 4 years old. I had no, like,
You had no past life experience.
I wasn't smart. I was 4 years old.
Reference.
Yeah, so I was like, wow, this is way better than Barney.
Oh, Barney. I was kind of into Barney, I ain't gonna lie.
Even as a 4-year-old, watching Barney, even I was like, man, calm your ass down, okay?
Yeah. Right. So
stop jumping around.
So, cause like, even when you're a kid, my mom and my parents bought me some of the tapes, and like even as a kid watching, I was like, there's something weird about this whole situation.
Yeah.
This like animatronic. Well, I don't know if he was in a suit or whatever.
He was in a suit.
But I was like, there's something wrong about this dinosaurs talking to these kids and singing.
You want to know something? I love when you find out like a little nugget of your childhood is passed over to your adulthood, because very recently, I'm not sure, it was a couple of years ago, Barney, the guy who was in the suit, the guy who worked the suit, he started teaching tantric sex online.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so you get to learn tantric sex from Barney.
Oh lord.
It's a good thing to learn, but
he took a whole different whole different career path.
Yeah, he's not like doing seminars at colleges.
No, he's not like
doing speeches.
He's not doing motivational speeches about loving each other and being a good person.
No, he is teaching about loving each other.
Well, it's a different kind, but whole different kind of loving. But yeah,
I lick you, you lick me.
Yeah, something like that, man. But
it is an important thing to learn.
Oh Lord, not from Barney though. I wouldn't. That's a whole. That's a whole mind fuck. I don't even want.
What if he does it in the voice?
Oh God,
if he does it,
there's someone out there paying for that too. Like someone's like, can you teach me in the Barney suit?
Probably someone. What if someone who didn't know that before took the class? Then after they took the class, they realized, oh my God, this guy was Barney.
They're listening. He doesn't even say he's Barney, but they're listening. They're like, that sounds really familiar. That voice.
I'm gonna teach you how to be super duper in bed.
And then he's like, whoever it is, they're laying in bed and they're like, it's bothering him, and they're like, that's fucking Barney.
That's Barney.
And it hits him, and they're like,
he was Barney in Hip Hop Harry, if you remember that.
No, I don't. What is Hip Hop Harry?
It was like.
I've literally never heard of that in my life.
Look it up.
Okay, I'll have to look it up.
Hip Hop Harry is just.
Anyways, so yeah, dude, those shows, Teletubbies. You remember that show?
Teletubbies.
That show was kind of trippy though.
As a kid, I liked it, but watching it now as an adult, I'm like, oh my God.
I haven't went back and watched it, but like,
no wonder I'm so fucked up.
Which one?
No wonder I'm so fucked up. Looking at Teletubbies now as an adult.
The fucking the baby in the sky.
The baby
in
the sky. How did I not question? We didn't ask questions as kids a lot, did we?
No, man.
We never
just
asked
watched
questions.
It. And I remember watching and like, they'd always like do shit and then have the toast.
The tubby toast.
Tubby toast. And I'd have my mom, can I have tubby toast? And she like just make regular toast.
The fuck is tubby toast?
And she's like, she just make regular toast. Like, this is tubby toast. I'm like, it's just a piece of toast. She's like, oh, it's tubby toast.
Don't give me this bullshit, Ma. I want tubby toast.
Right. I feel like there was something else they made.
Tubby custard.
Yeah. What the fuck was tubby custard? Right?
I didn't even know what I didn't even know what custard was. I just knew it. I just knew the Teletubbies wanted it, so I wanted it.
Yeah.
I know what custard is now. It's like a ice cream or pudding or something.
Oh yeah, but like look back in the day, you're just like, man, they're eating it.
Why is it called tubby custard? What makes it so? What's the tubby about the custard?
Right.
They're eating themselves.
Man, it's shit. Because it's those shows I remember watching as a kid. Arthur.
Oh yeah.
And like I remember thinking like, is he an anteater? Is he a aardvark? Like what is?
I didn't even know what an aardvark was.
I was like, I don't even know what that word is.
But I just kept calling it because that's what the.
Well, he's an anteater, isn't he?
No, he's an aardvark.
Is he an aardvark?
Because that's what whenever they would like do promos for the show, the announcer lady would say, "Watch Arthur the aardvark." I didn't know what aardvark was. I just said aardvark because the lady said it.
Yeah, and Clifford the Big Red Dog. It's like we didn't even question this big red dog.
His love, Emily Elizabeth, her love. It's in the theme song. Clifford needed Emily, so she chose him for her own. Then the love made Clifford grow so big that the Howards had to leave their home.
Exactly, man. Man, shows were so fucking trippy back.
If you're short, it means no one loves you.
Well, wait a minute. I'm short. I'm only 5'6".
Well, you're not that short.
That's not short.
I'm talking about.
I feel like that's a.
Clifford was teeny.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
He was teeny tiny.
He was super small.
If you're below 5 feet tall, it means no one loves you.
Yeah, man. So yeah, Disney was cool. Then you got shows like American Dragon.
Oh yeah, we get into the early 2000 action cartoons.
Yeah, man.
There was a surge of action cartoons.
I ain't ashamed to admit I watched Kim Possible too.
That's nothing to be ashamed about.
Kim Possible was cool. Ron Stoppable.
Like there were so many Disney owned the action cartoon market. They had American Dragon, Kim Possible.
Man, but there were some other
Randy
ones
Cunningham, too. Ninth Grade Ninja.
I don't remember that one.
That was later.
That was after my time.
That was on Disney XD. Okay. Later, that was way past our time.
Yeah. So like, then there was other ones on there.
Ben 10.
Cool Ben 10. This wasn't really action, but the Proud Family. I love the Proud Family.
Proud Family. That's the blackest show on TV.
That was a great show.
That was the blackest show ever.
It was cool.
I don't care. Anything you show on BET, it's not as black as Proud Family.
Well, it only had a couple seasons, right?
I
think it had like 3 or something.
And a movie.
Yeah. The Rugrats, dude. Nickelodeon. I watched that a lot.
They're making a reboot of that.
Yeah, I did hear that. They've been talking about that for years, man.
Some of the cast will be returning.
Yeah, it'd be sweet. Well, yeah, because that's what I was wondering. Are they gonna have like the original cast
made by the original creators?
Yeah, I can't see.
Klasky Chupo.
Chupo, yeah. Because they were married, and I did because we were talking about that I think a while back.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's cool that they're doing stuff, and man, Cartoon Network though back in the day had some really twisted cartoons.
Mama had a chicken. Mama had a cow. Dad was proud. He didn't care how. Uncle Grandpa.
Oh, Uncle Grandpa was, dude.
You can have sex with as many animals as you want, but as soon as you want to have sex with your cousin, it's a problem.
Bro.
Uncle Grandpa.
I'm telling you, I remember, like, because that was another show that came on, like, after my time, kind of.
Yeah.
But, like, it was one of those, like, I walked in on it one time. I'm watching this, like, Uncle Grandpa.
Good morning.
Good morning. And I started watching, like, what the hell? You can't look away. Pizza Steve,
Mr. Gut. I'm probably gonna get lynched for this, but my favorite episode of Steven Universe is the one where he crossed over with Uncle Grandpa. That was my favorite episode of the show.
I never watched
Steven Universe.
Yeah, Steven Universe. I never got into that one.
That show's good. The music is good. The characters are great.
Yeah, man. So yeah, dude, nostalgia is great. Like even like I feel like I don't know if we romanticize nostalgia. Do you think? I think like we look back on it, like maybe
sometimes
it was greater than it was. Like
sometimes people do romanticize it. Like the best example is the 2016 Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
People talking about this ruined my childhood. I'm like,
that was the one with the all-female cast.
Yeah.
I didn't see it, but
I saw it. It was all right. Chris Hemsworth was funny. I don't know what the fuck everyone's talking about. He was funny in there.
Yeah, he was like the butler type guy, right?
He was the secretary.
He
was I liked him. He was funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's an example of romanticizing nostalgia. People talking about this ruined my childhood. I'm like, bitch, if this is the thing that ruins your childhood was not worth saving.
If this is the thing that ruined your childhood, I envy you. Like, you've obviously had no trauma.
Like my dad would handcuff me to a radiator, then beat my mother senseless. And the only moment we would experience peace is when we sat down and watched Ghostbusters. Only then.
Man, only then.
Even then, that person would be like, "How you feel about this new one?" I don't care. I just watched the old one.
Yeah, no, like another one is like I remember back in the day, like I loved Danny Phantom. Right.
When I was a kid, before I knew about anime, I thought Danny Phantom was the most overpowered superhero ever.
All right, so like I go back nowadays to watch it, and I'm like, this is it's not that great.
Yeah, because you've seen more.
Yeah,
after that.
Right. But like, yeah,
Ben 10 would whoop his ass.
Ben 10, nah. I feel like remember Beyblade and like they overdid it with the Bakugan. And
oh yeah, those.
They overdid it with all the monster.
Those toy animes.
Like Pokemon was great, obviously.
I never saw Pokemon.
The show, you didn't watch it back in the day?
Never saw it.
It was one of my favorites. You should definitely watch it. You can find it somewhere, I'm sure, online.
I think it's probably on Hulu somewhere.
Yeah, so Yu-Gi-Oh was cool. I liked Yu-Gi-Oh. Did you watch that?
I didn't watch any animes when I was a kid.
Oh, really? What were you watching?
I was watching mostly
the Disney stuff?
Yeah, Western or Canadian cartoons.
Yeah, like an example?
Like
an example of a Canadian cartoon, I should say. Because I don't know.
There was lots of Canadian cartoons.
Because like, there was this one that was really just like off the wall trippy that like I don't know if other people know about it. Like Angela Anaconda.
Oh yeah.
Do you know that show?
Yeah.
Man.
My name is Angela. Yes, hello. Bitch, goodbye.
Dude, like I don't know how I got my hands on it, but like my grandpa taped it on a VCR tape, like a whole day's worth of Angela Anaconda, and like I would sit and watch it.
You know what? Full circle.
Love it.
Full circle back to the Bakugans and Digimons.
Yeah.
And the Digimon movie.
The Digimon was great.
The Digimon movie, they opened with Angela Anaconda.
Did they really?
She was going to see the Digimon movie in the theater.
Man, but like, yeah, Angela Anaconda, it is, looking back, kind of annoying. It's like that.
Very annoying.
And it's got like that art style.
Ugly.
The art style is like
ugly.
old yearbook. Like,
it's
I don't
ugly.
even know how to explain it.
That's coming from someone that watches Big Mouth. I don't like Big Mouth. I just watch it. Even I'm saying that art style is ugly.
Man, so yeah, it's gosh, you got shows like that was like annoying, but like you loved for some reason, like
annoying. Barney.
Well, the Barney. Well, mine was obviously the Angela Anaconda, you know, because it's like I don't know why I loved it, but I did.
Shows that annoyed me, but I loved. I can't really think of anything because I think I would watch any.
Well, back in the day, like we're saying, like we loved everything.
Yeah.
Because like it was just on. The TV.
I had no tastes.
There was no taste. We were being our tastes were being formed.
We were being babysat.
Yeah.
You don't talk back to the babysitter.
No, and like I partially, and this is a joke kind of, but like I partially blame my twisted sense of humor on the cartoons I watched.
Exactly.
And on the TV shows I watched. So back in the day, I loved the Batman and Robin movie with George Clooney.
The one with Joel Schumacher.
I don't know.
Directed by Batman and Robin.
Maybe Batman and Robin, like
with the bad credit card. With the bad credit card.
Mr. Freeze and Venom and
the bat nipples and the bat asses.
Yeah, dude. I wore that VCR tape out back when VCRs were a thing. Are you old enough to be VCR? You remember VCR tape?
I had a VCR. I still have a VCR.
Yeah. Man, I have VCR tapes. I don't have a working VCR.
I do.
But man, I just remember the great one-liners in that were so great. Like
you remember them.
Mr. Freeze, like one of his first appearances, he's like, "What killed the dinosaurs?
The Ice Age. Stay cool, bird boy.
Yeah.
Cool body. Stay cool."
Our terrible Arnold impressions. Man, that movie was great to me. And, like, looking back, I even watched it with my buddy over the summer. And, like, I still loved it.
I like Batman Forever.
Yeah.
Just because of Jim Carrey.
Man, yeah, those older ones are great, too. Jim Carrey was great as the Riddler. And, yeah, was that the one? I'm going to be butchered. People are going to, like, just go after me. But was that the one with Jack Nicholson? Or was that the other one? Jack Nicholson was the Joker. You remember?
Oh, no, those are the old. I think those are the.
That's because the one with Jim Carrey was a later one.
Yeah, those are the Joel Schumacher movies.
Yeah.
The ones with Jack Nicholson were the Tim Burton ones, I think.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Tim Burton doing Batman. What a concept.
Yeah.
You know.
Should we talk about I forgot what I was gonna say.
It's all good. This is live. We're going with it. Do you have any like superhero movies back in the day that you like?
The Incredibles.
Incredibles, man. I was
Incredibles,
just thinking about it. Yeah.
Sky High.
I watched The Incredibles in theaters. That was great.
And The Incredibles was an awakening for lots of boys. Lots of boys at that age that with Mrs. Incredible.
Oh man, when they're it's like the beginning scene when they're suiting up. Is that what you're talking about?
Just her.
Just her in general. Just her in general. Yeah, dude, that was a great movie. I haven't seen.
I remember I was in the theater. This is not a joke. I was in the theater seeing the movie.
Yeah.
Then Mrs. Incredible came on. It was her first time coming on the screen. And then some kid, a couple rows back for me, was like, "Daddy, she has a big butt."
Oh man, yeah. So that was like an awakening for that kid.
It was for every kid in that theater.
For every kid in the theater. Yeah, because I was 10 when that came out.
Except for the other kid in the theater who looked at Mr. Incredible when like, oh.
Right.
Those other kids.
To each their own, you know.
Yeah. No judgment.
No. Yeah, dude.
I'm not here to yuck no one's yum. Know what I'm saying?
Man, do you remember? I don't know if you did. You watch Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
That's a great movie.
That's the end game of its time.
That's a great movie.
That's the Infinity War of its time.
What was her name? Jessica Rabbit.
Jessica Rabbit.
Yeah.
There's so do you remember the part in Who Framed Roger Rabbit where they're leaving Toontown to go after Roger? They're driving the car and the car crashes.
Yeah.
And they all go flying out.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're not existent now, but there are some VHS copies where the part where they go flying out the car, you can see.
Yeah.
You can see Jessica Rabbit's sizzler.
Yeah. I've heard about that. I haven't looked into it, but I do know that I've heard that conspiracy theory. I should say.
I'm pretty sure they're either destroyed or people who do have them aren't gonna admit they have them. Otherwise, they'll be bombarded by eBay bids.
Man, I remember the ending of that when that old guy gets like melted.
Oh yeah,
that
Judge
almost
Doom.
Traumatized me, bro. I was like, whoa.
That was Christopher Lloyd playing
Yeah.
Doc Brown.
Yeah, man. And so cartoons were both funny, twisted, and traumatizing, apparently. But man, such a good movie. Well, we're gonna take a quick break. I got a segment coming up with Yamari that I think y'all are gonna enjoy, and this is Unprofessional with Daniel Salla. Yamari Shumaker, my good pal, my good buddy of mine. When I rebranded this as Unprofessional with Daniel Salla, I knew I wanted to do a segment where my friend right here just rants on things because he's. I will say before you say anything, and you will because you'll have about 10 minutes here to talk. But before you say anything, I just want to tell you that I'm gonna enjoy this immensely because you are just like the best rant that I've ever heard in my life in person. So yeah, this is Yamari Shoemaker. What's going on, my friend?
Nothing much, trying to get through the so-called quarantine, COVID-19 era, batshit crazy era.
Oh yeah, yeah, I totally understand. It's been crazy. So today, me and Jazz we're talking about nostalgia, and like old shows we used to watch, and one of my it's not one of the shows I used to watch, but it's one that I rediscovered that I really like a lot is Friends. The TV show Friends, and I know that you have some opinions on the TV show Friends.
Right. See, with Friends, like they had my first issue with it is like they never had like any diversity on that show. They never had like any other, like any other group of race. It don't matter what group of race it was, but just like they needed more diversity to the show. And then like I can never figure out who the fuck was dating who, or who was fucking who, or who was marrying who. It's like
I think they all touched base of it eventually.
So they all basically fucked each other, and they all came to a realization. It's like, oh well, I like you, and I think me and you should be together forever. And then, what's the two characters' names? Like, they couldn't tell if they wanted to be married or together. And then he'd go off and have like several different baby mamas or whatever.
Ross and Rachel.
Yeah. It's like, would you two make up your mind? It's like one season or one episode that's with each other, then they're screwing like their 10th guy or girl or whatever.
Oh yeah, no, they are on and off again in the series, and yes, they do go off and have separate relationships with other people, so it can get confusing.
Yeah, that there's another character on there. She's blonde, and she never had a. It seems like they never really tried to put her with a guy.
Phoebe.
Yeah, Phoebe. I don't know how I don't remember any of these people's name because I watched the show a lot, and every time I watch it, it made me cringe. But
you did watch it a lot. You lied.
Yeah, I did lie, but I I used to watch them a lot because I used to watch it with family and other friends. But
yeah.
like it just like The show was okay. I mean, it wasn't my favorite, but I mean, I just didn't understand it. And then they always made Joey look like this fucking idiot of the group,
Oh yeah,
even though
Joey,
he probably had the best job out of all of them.
an actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say he's my favorite.
Okay. Yeah. I can see
Him and the other guy. Him and the other guy that seems kind of like hokey and
Chandler.
Yeah, like he just seems not hokey, but like
He jokes around a lot.
Yeah, like he just seems corny. That's the one I'm looking for. Corny.
Flamboyant, maybe.
Flamboyant. I want to say he's like totally like corny. I think Ross is definitely corny.
Yeah.
He's definitely corny. The lady, the other lady with the black hair, her name's Melissa, right? Wasn't that her name?
Monica.
On the show? Monica. I was close.
Come on, man. Pull it together. Yeah, it was Monica. Yeah, Monica was Ross's sister, actually.
Well, Monica, I don't know. She's the responsible one out of everybody in that group. She's probably the responsible one.
I would say so. Yeah.
But
so your least favorite character?
My least favorite character, I would definitely Rachel.
Rachel, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's just my least favorite. Her and Ross, I mean, just like they're
you just find them completely annoying.
Yeah, because it's like like I said before, they didn't know where they want to be with each other or not. They just kept going back and forth. Every season, every episode, I watched that sitcom. They're definitely not my favorite characters.
If it makes you feel any better, by the end of the TV show, they do end up, I think, getting married.
Yeah, they do end up getting married, and I don't know if they had a kid. Did they? I don't know.
I think they did. They had a kid. I know they had a daughter, and I don't know if they had another one or not. But
the reason why I said that because Ross had like a whole bunch of kids. I feel like
I think he had one kid with an ex-lesbian. His ex-wife ended up being a lesbian. And so yeah, he had a son by her, and then I think he had a daughter with Rachel, and I think, don't quote me, they might have had another kid. I don't know though.
He's been yeah.
Ross was married like 3 or 4 times though.
Yeah.
He was a serial marrier.
Right, because like I said, he's just it's like he's with a different girl, then he bounces back to Rachel, which is, I was like, dude, you need to, because obviously everybody knows that Rachel was supposed to just be his, I guess, the love of his life forever, but
yeah,
he just kept bouncing back to the next girl. Then when he gets done with that, then he goes right back to go right back to her, which is crazy.
So, Yamari's final take on Friends. What do you got?
That's one thing. Okay, that's an episode where I was like, this is hilarious, but it's just it was stupid. So Ross was dating he was dating like one of his college students, and then Rachel was dating the student's father.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah, I think I remember that episode. Yeah.
It seems like they always make Rachel and Ross like cross paths, even if they're in different relationships.
Yeah, they were always in the same quote unquote friends group,
Right.
So they always saw each other.
That's why that's why just like man, Friends. When you watch the show Friends, that's all you. That's really what you see for the most part of the relationship with Ross and Rachel.
Yeah, that was one of the focal points for sure. But yeah, man, I'm glad I had you on here to tear apart in a way, friends. I like I said, I happen to like Friends, but I think it's hilarious that you don't. I think it's great.
I don't. Like I said, it's an okay show. It's not my favorite, but
It's just not one of your favorites.
yeah.
I totally understand. I can't wait to have you back next week. To be honest,
Oh
I don't know
yeah.
what we're gonna talk about, but it's gonna be awesome.
Yes, because I'm gonna keep on ranting.
That's right. All right, man. Well, thanks a lot.
Thanks for having me.
Yep.
And welcome back to Unprofessional with Daniel Salla, sitting here with Jazz.
Hi ho.
Hi ho. And we are talking about nostalgia and all the good and the bad that comes with it. And we were talking about just all the shows we've been watching that we used to watch, and some of the shows that are good and some that are not as good anymore.
We left out a major cornerstone.
Major cornerstone of generations of childhoods, you know. Sesame Street.
Yep, there's kids today learning from the street.
I'm telling you, man. It get all the Sesame Street. Well, obviously, I mean, for those of you who don't know, it went to HBO.
Yeah.
And it's on HBO Max, and like they have literally all the Sesame Streets on them.
Here's how good Sesame Street is.
It's crazy.
This is how good Sesame Street is. Dwight Schrute doesn't even hate Sesame Street.
No, Dwight Schrute hates everything.
But he loves Sesame Street.
Man,
even he's not that cruel.
Who doesn't love Sesame Street, right?
It's illegal. There's different versions all over the world of Sesame Street.
Yeah. Sesame Street. Now, is this supposed to be in New York? Is that where?
Yeah, it takes place in New York.
In New York, yeah. But everyone, like celebrities, have been on Sesame Street.
Singers,
yeah, actors.
Ray Charles, Little Richard. I didn't even know who Little Richard was. even I was hyped that he was on Sesame Street singing Rubber Ducky.
Oh man,
Rubber Ducky.
The Sesame Street, man, has brought celebrities to like little kids' eyes. You know, like they.
My favorite one.
You would have had no idea.
My favorite one to this day is Jack Black.
Oh, is he on there?
Jack Black's my favorite one. Talking about octagons and shit.
Dude, I would pay good money to see Jack Black talk about octagons.
You can just look up Jack Black on Sesame Street. He talks about octagons with Elmo.
Man,
my favorite Muppet.
I had like some VHS tapes on Sesame Street, like the storybook.
Yeah.
Where they'd be reading a book and it's like just the stills.
I had
the voiceovers, you know.
I had Elmo and Grouchland, Cinder Elmo.
Cinder Elmo.
It was basically just Cinderella with Elmo.
Yeah,
yeah. Follow That Bird.
Man, so much because that show's been going on
for years.
In 50s maybe.
50, maybe 60s.
60s probably. Maybe the 60s.
Yeah.
Probably right.
If you want to know more about Sesame Street or just Jim Henson in general, just go on YouTube. This guy on YouTube did a whole documentary miniseries on every single aspect of Jim Henson's. It's a guy called Defunct Land. He did every single aspect of Jim Henson. He did before Sesame Street, like when he was on variety TV and doing commercials and stuff. Then Sesame Street, then The Muppet Show, then Fraggle Rock.
So Jim Henson, for the people who don't know.
For the people who don't, all the 3-year-olds out there. Who does know who Jim Henson is?
There might be a group of people.
Okay,
Just explain.
Okay, well, for those who don't know, Jim Henson, he is the main man, the head honcho, the chairman of the board of everything Muppet. Everything. Anytime you see a puppet walking on screen telling you about letters, sharing, or waiting your turn, that's Jim Henson.
So you're saying he's the godfather of puppets?
He is the granddaddy of puppetry.
So like people like Jeff Dunham have a debt of gratitude.
Jeff Dunham, Joel Hodgson, from Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Right. Mystery Science Theater.
He got his for Gypsy, the puppet of Gypsy. He took mad inspiration from Snuffleupagus.
Oh man, I'm sure you can see that. I can see that actually.
But those a big puppet requiring like 2 or 3 hands.
Right, man. Mystery Science Theater 3000. Come on now, that's one of those.
It's a cult classic.
That's one of those shows like I could just sit down and like just laugh at because they play these ridiculously bad movies.
Some of the movies they are hidden gem. Like I was watching some of the movies. I was watching some of the movies there. Some of the movies they were making fun of, and I was thinking to myself, these aren't half bad. Like the Beatniks. I like the Beatniks. I think was genuinely good.
Right.
I actually like the Beatniks on its own. It could work. High School Big Shot.
There was one where it was about a puppet that like tried to kill people.
Devil Doll.
Yeah, it was so bad, man. I don't know. I've never had that fear of dolls.
I never
did. I mean, I don't know.
No. Except Chucky, maybe.
But
back to Jim Henson.
Yeah,
he was a pioneer of puppetry because up to that point, before Jim Henson, puppets were only like marionettes used in like theaters.
They weren't very prominently featured.
They weren't very prominent.
And he kind of made them a focal point.
Yeah, he brought them to the screen, like the silver. No, not the silver screen. What do you call the TV?
The small screen.
The small screen.
There you go. The small screen.
For variety shows, like his own variety show, Sam and Friends. If you watch that show, you could see Jim Henson starting to get the idea of Kermit. Like he had this. There was this one character on Sam and Friends called Kermit. He looked a lot like. Well, not a lot like how he does now. He looks different. He didn't have the collar.
Right.
They even called him a lizard. They didn't call him a frog. So he was still forming the identity of Kermit. Kermit is seen throughout almost every single stage of Jim Henson.
Yeah.
Like when he was doing Sam and Friends, he was working on the look of Kermit.
Right.
When he was doing the commercials for Wilkins Coffee, he was working on the voice of Kermit. You can hear a little bit of Kermit's voice in the character of Wilkins. Those Wilkins commercials, they are brutal. Have you seen those?
No, man. I'm curious now, though.
They're like the itchy and scratchy of coffee commercials.
Crazy brutal.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch off the air.
I was going to show you them right now. They are just brutal.
Oh, man.
There was this one where there are these two characters, Wilkins and Wontkins. Wilkins is the guy who's always trying to get Wontkins to try Wilkins coffee. And Wontkins won't try the coffee. It makes sense. It's and every single time he doesn't, Wilkins just does something
clever.
Brutal. Like there's this one where they're at Wilkins' house. Wilkins is like, "Do you have any coffee?" Wilkins coffee? He's like, "No." He throws a bomb in his house. And then he just walks off saying a house isn't a home without Wilkins, and the house explodes.
Man, he just wants everyone to love this coffee. It's crazy, man. It's crazy that one guy did the Sesame Street, the Muppet Show.
Fraggle
Rock, which is another just hidden gem for some people, I think.
Dark Crystal.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's crazy. You were saying you were saying earlier, Chucky. You were scared of Chucky.
I was.
Were you really?
Yeah.
It was one of those. He was one of those I wasn't really scared of. He just kind of made me laugh.
It scared because
guy.
It scared me because I grew up with my older sister. My older sister loved collecting dolls.
Yeah.
So the thought that at any moment, and we shared a room at the time.
Yeah.
So the thought that at any moment,
I could see that.
Excuse me. And the thought at any moment while I'm sleeping, any one of those little fuckers could just.
Exactly. Man, I got a funny story too. Actually, used to stay at my grandpa's, and he was a woodworking guy, right? Like, he did arts and crafts and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And for a while, he was making and building nutcrackers, like the doll nutcrackers, you know.
Uh-huh.
And I would stay in his guest room, and he would literally have rows of nutcrackers at the foot of my bed.
Why?
On like a fucking like a shelf, right?
Why would you do that though?
And like I'm like, well, Grandpa, can we like maybe move them while I'm staying here? And he's like, no, they gotta stay. So like I'd be sleeping, curled up, and like just looking in the corner of my fucking bed with these like nutcrackers just staring me down. So
why would he do that though?
I get it. He's a good guy. He's got a very dry, very I feel sadistic sense of humor, I guess. He wanted to make me suffer. There was one time I was up at eating dinner with him and my grandma at the time, and they were eating pizza.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what kind of pizza it was. I don't know what the brand was. Anyways,
speaking of pizza, keep going.
Yeah. So and granted, I was maybe 8 or 9 at the time, and he's like, he looks at me straight on, dead ass, no smile. He's like, you eat that pizza and it's gonna clog your arteries, and you'll have a heart attack and die.
Well, he's not wrong.
Well, he's not wrong, but that's some fucking shit to say to an 8-year-old. So I was like, oh my god, and I started like freaking out, But he's a good man. I love him, but yeah, he has a very dry sense of humor. But you were saying pizzas.
Ninja Turtles.
Oh, yes, Ninja Turtles. I wouldn't have even thought about that, man.
There is a Ninja Turtle for every single age.
Dude, so
like my Ninja Turtles would have been the early 2000s Turtles that were on like 4Kids.
Right.
My little brother's Ninja Turtles would have been the 2012 series that was on Nickelodeon. My little sister's Ninja Turtles would have been the current, well, not current because they got canceled, even though it was a good ass show. The current Ninja Turtle Rise of the Ninja Turtles.
Man, so I didn't really watch many of the shows, but I did watch. I loved the second movie. They've had a lot of movies, but
Secret of the Ooze,
for Primordial Ooze or something.
Secret of the Ooze.
Secret of the Ooze.
The one with Vanilla Ice.
Yeah, I forgot he was in that.
Yeah, so did everyone.
So did everybody else. Yeah, no, man, Ninja Turtles are cool. I've always liked them. I wasn't super into them, but there are people out there who love them, like are obsessed, like like collecting everything.
Andre Meadows, the black nerd.
And yeah, it's I love the Ninja Turtles. They're sweet.
They're kind of a cultural phenomenon too. Like almost everybody knows who the Ninja Turtles are. They're like one of those. They're like those. They're on the same level as like Mickey Mouse or Bugs Bunny.
Yeah,
everyone knows who they are.
Yeah, you say Ninja Turtles, they know what you're talking about.
They may not know their names.
Yeah,
but they know who they are.
I mean, just their longevity too.
Yeah.
I mean, you can argue the quality of some of the things that they've done. I don't. I mean, because there are people. I don't have a problem with anything. Like,
to me, there is no bad, except for maybe the Bay Turtles.
The Bay Turtles.
Yeah.
See, I don't know much about them.
The Michael Bay Ninja Turtles.
Oh yeah. Michael Bay's movies.
Those are the only bad Ninja Turtles.
Michael Bay's like, let's just.
But there were some good things about those turtles.
Let's just blow shit up.
And turn Shredder into a Decepticon.
Turn Shredder into a Decepticon, man. Yeah.
But there were certain aspects of that Ninja Turtles Michael Bay movie that were kind of cool, like giving each turtle their own like articles of clothing to give them their own distinct look and showing off their personality. They were so good they carried it over to the current, now canceled Ninja Turtles. They gave them like different looks, and there were even different species of turtles in that one.
Oh wow!
Raphael was a snapping turtle.
Oh wow! See, I didn't watch it.
Michelangelo was a box turtle, which is the only turtle that can go into their shell.
Yeah. I remember seeing the previews for that Michael Bay turtle movie, and I was like, man, this is too sleek. This is too, like, polished. Something about it.
And the turtles look ugly.
Yeah, they looked like too, I'm trying to think of the word here. Too, like, just like, there's so much huge. And they were just, there was a lot going on.
Like, they should have called it Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Asterix.
Asterix?
There's no way those are teenagers.
No, they skipped a few years.
Yeah, but like in the current now canceled Ninja Turtles, the only big one was Raph. That's just because he was a snapping turtle. They're the biggest turtle.
Yeah, Right.
And so he was a snapping turtle. Mikey was a box turtle. Leo was a red snapper, I think they're called. They have different like patterns and stuff on their skins that matches with Leonardo's swagger.
Right.
And Donatello is a soft shell turtle, which means he has the softest shell, which is why he has to make a cybernetic shell, like a little shell to go on top of his shell with like rockets and like he like hover and stuff.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty cool.
Man, now I want to take a class that you teach on the Ninja Turtles. You should teach a class.
It's man.
You should get a petition going.
I could
for an elective here. I'm telling
anyone
you.
that talks shit about the new Ninja Turtles, they're getting write-ups.
Oh man.
Because the only reason why that show didn't take off is because not a lot of people watched it. That's just because lots of like older fans, not all, but lots of older fans not watch it because it's not their turtles. They changed lots of things.
Yeah, it's a whole generational divide thing.
That's the thing with nostalgia.
Yeah.
You change one or you change anything, there's gonna be backlash.
Well, it goes back. I think it's a whole generation thing because I remember back in my day, like when we were watching cartoons, it was like my grandpa hated the new shit. Like he wanted to watch Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry was good.
I loved it, but he wanted to watch Tom and Jerry. He wanted to watch, the Smurfs, the Looney Tunes. Like that was his cartoons, And I totally.
And he probably hates the modern day.
Oh, he
Smurfs.
hated. Probably he would.
Because there's a difference between changing for the good and changing for the bad.
Yeah, man.
Because like with the Smurfs, when you change it to a live action, you made them look like basically midgets with weird skin conditions. They look like people.
Who's the main guy in there?
Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah, I thought it was Neil Patrick Harris. That's another guy.
But there's those. That's a bad change. Taking something cartoony and making it so realistic to the point where it's scary.
Yeah, man.
Where with the Ninja Turtles, they changed a few things. I thought they were interesting changes.
Right.
Changes I want to see how they would go. Like they made Raph the leader in this new Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
And their classic weapons, like, Mikey's got the nunchucks, Raph's got the sais, Donnie's got Donnie doesn't have a bow staff. He has a tech bow. It's got, it's cool. It's got like rockets and stuff.
Man,
and
he suited up.
And Leo had the twin katanas.
Right.
In the first episode of that series, they fight these mystical beings. Their weapons break immediately.
Oh, no.
Then they had to go to this mystic realm to save April, who's black now, like in the comics.
Right.
So that's another.
That was in the comics.
Yeah, originally April was black in the comics, the Eastman and Leard comics.
Right.
But then they changed her to white in the movies.
Yeah.
And she's just been white ever since. So it's nice that in this one they go back to her roots. Anyway, they go to this mystic realm to save April, and that's where they find these mystic weapons.
Yeah.
So now Mikey has this I don't know what it's called, but it's like this chain with a ball with spikes at the end.
Yeah.
It's not a morning star. It's not a mace.
I
know
what you're talking about.
And Leo has this Odachi sword, which is this one long sword.
So you're pretty much saying, but with the times, they just adapted to modern technology.
Yes, that's one of not modern technology, but they adapted to modern. I don't know what the word is.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. They adapted to
it's diverse.
Modern times, more diverse weapon.
It's not even just that, just the cast themselves. They're diverse, and the cast is mostly black, but also the characters are diverse. They have diverse personalities. That fits with a lot of kids. A lot of kids and friendships nowadays, they're a diverse group of people.
Right. No, and that's cool that they are doing that.
And their powers, their weapons have mystical powers.
Right.
That makes them even more cool.
Yeah.
Like Leo can open portals. Mikey can do lots of fire whips.
Yeah. No, it is cool. But closing here, I did want to ask one of your, just off the top of your head, one of your favorite memories growing up, just in general. If you had to have something that just stands out.
One of my having to do with TV or anything.
Anything. This is nostalgia. We're talking about nostalgia today. You have a good memory growing up that you want to.
When I was a kid on the weekends, me and my brother would always wake up on the weekends every morning to play some PlayStation 2.
Man, yeah.
We didn't have 2-player games. We would play Sonic Riders.
Yeah.
Tak and the Great Juju Challenge for anyone that remembers the Tak series.
I do. I remember. Yeah, man. I
Ratchet and Clank,
Spyro, all those mini games. Man, I remember used to stay at my grandpa's a lot, and that's the same thing. We would play PlayStation 2, me and my brother.
My mom would just make us breakfast. We would be sitting in the front room, plates full of pancakes covered in syrup.
Yeah.
And then while one person's eating, one of us will be having the controller, and then when they're done, pass the controller, and then they would eat their food while the other person plays.
Man, yeah, I would stay at my grandpa's. My brother would come over, and we would alternate between playing the PlayStation 2, watching cartoons, and we'd make pizza or something. It was so good, man. Like we're saying, like nostalgia is one of those things where it's just like it brings you such a good feeling.
It's like, actually, here's the thing with nostalgia. It's like MSG. Yeah, a little bit here and there is fine, but but don't rely on it too much.
Yeah, you gotta keep moving forward. Yeah. Obviously, but it's a good thing. Like, it's cool to go back and like relive some of that stuff.
Yeah, like a little nostalgia now here and there is fine.
Yeah.
But too much and you'll probably hurt yourself.
We'll strain our brain.
You'll strain your brain, body.
Nostalgia.
Yeah.
Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't want to get to that point. That'd probably hurt. I feel like that would hurt.
If you focus too much on the past, you're not focusing on what life could be like going forward.
Damn.
If you focus,
deep comment of the week from Jazz.
Like if you keep looking back.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, if you keep looking back, you won't know what's coming ahead.
Yeah, man, it's always important to just like you said, like it's cool to look back, but you just keep looking forward, keep just doing the best you can with what you got.
Keep moving forward, like from Meet the Robinsons.
Yeah.
I brought it back.
You brought it back, man, which is cool. So this has been Unprofessional with Daniel Salla. It's cool. I got Jazz here with me. He's gonna be my co-host for the foreseeable future. I don't see why we wouldn't keep doing this, and this has been fun. We've been talking nostalgia and all that good stuff. So we'll talk to you guys next week. You guys have a safe week and enjoy yourself. Stay unprofessional.